It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, not so beautiful if you watch an interview that we're going to talk about in a moment with Kasie Hunt on CNN and the Trump National Campaign spokesperson. And joining us to talk about that exchange, which is making lots of headlines. Who better than the great Bill O'Reilly, who hosts Common Sense with Bill O'Reilly every weeknight here on WABC Radio, 9 to 10 p.m. Mega best-selling author and has another big book coming up very soon about the president. So how timely is that? Bill, great to have you here.
Rita, I just want to tell everybody that on debate night at 9 o'clock, we're going to be live, Rita and myself. And we're going to do something that I don't think has ever been done. We're going to do play-by-play of the debate on WABC Radio. So, therefore, we're going to be watching in real time. And we're going to be telling people listening to the radio, if you don't have a television set, exactly what they're saying, how they're saying it, who's winning, who's losing, and all of that. So that'll be 9 to 10 on Thursday night, and I'm looking forward to that.
I can't wait, Bill. And by the way, I've had a lot of people who've already said that they can't wait to tune in to hear our analysis, too. So I'm thrilled to be working with you on that, Bill. It's going to be great. So speaking of media, let's play it. This was CNN anchor Kasie Hunt today. She is interviewing Karoline Leavitt, who is the national press secretary for President Trump, on the campaign. And she makes a good point, but CNN doesn't want to hear it. Take a listen.
To all corners of this country. That's why he was in Detroit, Michigan last week. He was in Philadelphia for a big rally on Saturday night. And that's why President Trump is knowingly going into a hostile environment on this very network, on CNN, with debate moderators who have made their opinions about him very well known over the past 8 years and their biased coverage of him. So President Trump is willing to bring his message to every corner of this country, to voters, to ensure that he wins this election in November. He looks forward to doing that. And I know the American public look forward to hearing from him.
So I'll just say my colleagues, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, have acquitted themselves as professionals as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. So I really want to focus in on what these two men are going to do and say when they stand on the stage. Now, what do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it would take someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently liked President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate. Arthur.
What a disaster, Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. So both ladies made mistakes. Ms. Hunt was foolish to boot her because it was good TV. And the CNN morning program, nobody watches it. And I mean that literally. Their ratings are as low as you could possibly get.
Yeah, she should have kept it going for a few hours.
Yeah, why not have a big back and forth? I mean, I specialized in that on the O'Reilly factor. People would be engaged. So booting Karoline off was a bad move TV-wise. But Karoline was also coming into it in a confrontational way when she didn't have to. All she had to say to Ms. Hunt and CNN was, we're a little bit worried that Tapper and Dana Bash are not going to be fair to Donald Trump. We're a little bit worried about that. Can you reassure me, Kasie? And that way you get your point across. And if Kasie said, oh, no, they'll be – and then she could say, well, that's not the history. And she should have had one or two examples ready. So you can make your point without attacking front line. Now, Ms. Hunt should have basically said, after Caroline got through with her diatribe, well, why did your candidate agree to come on a program? If we're that bad, why did he agree? You see what I mean? So you can do this kind of a thing without having a blow up like that, which turns into a cartoon.
Yeah, no, great points. By the way, Bill, also with us in studio is the chairman of the House Intel Committee, Chairman Mike Turner. Your thoughts, Chairman?
Hey, Bill, those are great points. The other aspect I think here is that I hope that the Trump team is really looking at this as Trump's opportunity to speak to the American public and not just get into attacks of the moderators and attacks of Biden. I think Biden lives in a space where he comes out of the Senate. He's used to those types of attacks. This is a real opportunity where Trump's on the upswing here. If he makes the case, I'm not just offering you, these issues as policies. I have a record here, and compare my record to Biden, and I think that opportunity will really make a difference for him.
Maybe, but you're going to be obscured in that by the fact that Biden and the moderators most likely will deny whatever Trump says. So, Congressman, number one, I want you to do me a favor on your committee and have everybody go to BillO'Reilly.com every day. Right? It's like mandatory.
Will you do that? Will you do that, Mr. Chairman?
I think everybody should, Bill, not just our committee.
You can pass this along to the former president. What he should do on Thursday night, no matter what the question is asked, no matter what he is asked, he should say the following. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But why don't you two ask Joe Biden about this? And then Trump throws a stat out. Why don't you? And then he does that every answer. What that does is it puts the moderators in a position, if they ignore the question, and they've got to be good questions from Trump. Because remember, Trump can't ask Biden anything directly himself. All right? But he can ask the moderators to ask Biden. That would be a coup like you would never see, because the CNN people would not know how to handle that. And then the question would be made visible to everybody all over the world. Yeah. Why doesn't he ask Joe Biden about 15 million migrants, foreign nationals in this country? Yeah. Why doesn't he ask Joe Biden that essentials of life are up 30% since he's been in office? Because you can't count on Tapper and Bash to ask those very specific questions. So that's my advice for Donald Trump. You do it. You basically be the moderator. Can you imagine if Trump did that? Oh, my God.
And I think it's a great idea, Bill, because you cannot bank, obviously, based on what we've seen, some of the way they've dumped out of Trump. I remember this moment where Jake Tapper, where Trump was talking about, quote, an invasion at the border. And Jake Tapper dumped out on the president speaking, saying, what is he talking about, an invasion? I think a lot of people would classify it as an invasion. So you're right, putting the pressure for him to ask those questions.
Right. If Donald Trump thinks out of the box, he can destroy President Biden and CNN at the same time. I've got 15 specific questions. I'll give you one more. All Trump has to do is go, it's strange that Jake and Dana haven't asked President Biden that while I was president for 4 years, we didn't have any wars. We had Putin under control. We had the Middle East under control. But now all we have is conflict and confrontation. Why is that?
Yeah,
These
great.
are questions that are devastating, but they will not be asked. But Donald Trump, remember, he's uninterrupted. He can say whatever he wants to say in response to any question. All he does is deflect. I'll get to that in a moment. But why don't you guys ask him this? Oh, boy, if he does that, it's over.
By the way, I 1000% agree. And Bill, you and I are going to be together during the debate. So let's see if he does throw those questions out. We'll be talking about that for sure. Bill, thank you so much. And everybody tune in tonight. Common Sense with Bill O'Reilly, who always has such great common sense, at 9 p.m. And Bill, I'll talk with you on Thursday night. Boy, we're going to be in the middle of it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me in.